Here, is that working now? I think it might, because for some reason I was muted, and I don't think I am anymore. So, can anybody hear me out there? Candace, I see you in here, so hopefully it's working. I actually have my sound up, and I'm hoping it's going to come on. Let's see. There it goes.
Is that working now?
Perfect. Okay.
I think it might.
There we go. All right.
Is that working
Oh
now?
my goodness.
Okay.
Now we can't hear me not talk, right?
There we go.
Oh no.
All right.
It won't stop. I had to throw my phone into the other room.
Okay. Now we can't hear me not.
There we go. Good morning. I hope the rest of my Monday is not as eventful as this is, but I do want to talk to you this morning. Kathy, great. She can hear me. Wonderful. What a fun event that was. So what I'm talking about today is hot seats, why they're amazing and why you should have one. And if you don't know me, I am Coach Tina. I am the founder of the Empowering Champions community, a mastermind course creator, and a certified ULA life coach. And I'm just happy to be here every Monday, motivating you through the week and hopefully getting you excited about your dream life and what you have to do to get where you want to go. Now, I'm talking about hot seats today, and I'm just wondering, do you know what a hot seat is? A hot seat is when a mentor or someone that you are in a course or a class with spotlights you, puts you on display, and works with you one-on-one, asking you, usually working through a problem. Like, remember when you were young and the teacher would ask a question and you would raise your hand and then you would be like terrified that they were going to call on you. And then they did. And then you just gave an answer and then you sat back down and you were glad. And that was it. Well, that is not a hot seat. A hot seat is you're not just giving an answer, you're getting developed by this other person. Usually they've explained a method that they teach on, and then they talk you through it. So, of course, hot seats are near and dear to my heart in the Tony Robbins world. Love me a good Tony hot seat. He is the master of taking someone, digging into what is going on in their world, and then leveraging what is happening to them and taking them to a new place, a place that they've hoped to go to. And that's a hot seat. So this weekend, I was in a conference and I got to participate as a hot seat participant. And boy, was it fun. I really think that all of us should have this experience right in front of the person that we're seeking advice from, so that we can hear a different perspective on what it is we're trying to improve in our lives. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what mine was about, because that was really fun. Okay, somebody's saying like Gabby Bernstein does. I haven't seen Gabby Bernstein. So yeah, but it's probably a lot of the mentors will do this because it's a great way to demonstrate their work, right? You've talked about how you can help someone. Now you show it to other people. And so in the conference that I was in, we were working on, it was called Unflappable. And it was so much fun. The woman that was leading it, she's been doing it for about 3 years, she said, but she was a former CIA agent who had her career in the government, and she decided to leave her very high 6-figure job and move into her own business, teaching people how the mind works and how, like, in the world of espionage, they were able to get in and infiltrate and have their targets, provide them with information. And so it was a really great look at how the mind works and how you can understand your mind better. I really like, she called it hidden programming, that we all have like patterns that run to keep us safe. We all know about the fight and flight mentality, but she talked more about, instead of fighting what we have inside of us, do it to a different, like explore it to a different level, so that that becomes your inner brilliance versus the self-sabotage against you. By understanding the intricacies of it, you no longer have it as a battle within you. So it was really good. And at a certain point, she had us do our foundational values, the things that mattered most to us in life, which sounds a lot like what I have you guys do when we write our goals down and the big dreams we have for the future. But she had us prioritize them. We picked 5 as the pillars for all decisions we make in the future, which I thought was really fascinating information. And we had them written down. They're kind of like affirmation statements. And so I wrote mine down, and then I submitted them to her, and we went over them together. And she asked me just the littlest nuances of the questions or the statements that I had written. She tweaked them to a way that just like really lit me up. And that was so great to see and to experience. You know, we all are doing our best to be the best versions of ourselves. But at a certain point, we hit that level where we can't go any further than where we are, where we've been keeping ourselves, because we don't have the right tools to move forward. And she just really brought that out, just like most people do when they put you on that hot seat. Because when you are in that moment, it's kind of like being in an interview and you get asked that question and you've got that one shot to really tell your answer. And when you're in the hot seat, the same thing happens. You have that moment. It's not like you didn't journal it. You didn't like make the perfect email. You didn't say all the things just the way you wanted to say them. You say them as they are, and you deal with the consequences. And so sometimes we have to get outside of ourselves and our little comfortable place that we've built for ourselves to really have that expansion and grow. I like to call it the breakthrough, right? Because I imagine that little seed that you've poured it into, you've given it the right amount of sunlight and water. And at that certain point that it's germinated, it is going to pop out of its seed, and there is going to be something that starts to grow. And that hot seat is a really great place for that kind of transformation to happen, because all of a sudden you're getting that extra greenhouse effect on you, and you can really push open. So loved my experience. And of course, it's something I'd love to share with other people. It is a great way for others to see progress and implementation of the content, for sure. Definitely. But why should you get a hot seat if you are given the opportunity? It's really about that vulnerability piece. It's about being up there on the stage and breaking yourself open. And it's something that I think everybody really needs to have the experience of. So I am available for hot seats. And it's something that I'm going to be putting out in my May masterclass, is that you can spend some time with me getting answers to whatever transformation you are working towards. I have one gal recently wanted to manifest, I think she needed about $20,000 for a program that she wanted to join. And so we were talking about it. She was excited, but she had all of these money problems that were really bringing her down. And she just couldn't imagine where she was now, getting to the place where she wanted to be in this coaching program. And it's so interesting because when we have these experiences, sometimes we get like laser focused, right? Like, I don't have this thing, so that's the problem. Well, when we talked about loosening her up to receiving more from the the powers that be, which is really herself. It allowed her to open up and not feel so much anger about money situations she was under, about the things that were going on in her world. And we also looked at some other options for her regarding this coaching. Like, she really wants the $20,000 program, but it's not the only way to get to what she was wanting. She wants to help people. And so what we did instead was opened her up to the idea that what if she just joined a smaller coaching community and got the skill set to start? And as she grew that, she could then apply the income that she was able to make in that smaller venue towards saving for the bigger. And we had a couple sessions together, and afterwards she reported that she is making more income, and she's a freelancer. And so more jobs have been coming to her. She's having a greater experience than she was before. She's no longer as burdened by the lack. That poverty spirit has been lifted, okay? And now she has signed up for, she found a coaching course with all the basics for, I think it was under $100. And she was just able to get in there and be pursuing her dream, right? The really interesting thing about when we go after our dreams is that it isn't the accomplishment of the dream that juices us. It's that we are making progress towards the dream. That's what all the happiness books will tell you, is the happiness comes from the progress. So even if you're making just the minimal amount of effort towards the thing you want, it's still going to give you that joy that fuels you and allows you to get to the next step. So if you think that you would like a jump start with a hot seat, I would love to hear from you. You could put that hashtag hot seat into the comments, and I will get with you about doing a hot seat. I will record it offline and then use it and as a demonstration during the next masterclass. You'll notice it's from procrastination to desired destination. I am committed to doing the same but better masterclass each month through June. So this is class number 2. It will have nuances, things I learned from the last time, and it will get better and better each time. But the whole point of, I love it, I'm getting a hot seat out there, wonderful, wonderful. The whole point of the course of the masterclass that I'm doing it's always done in the beginning of the month. The reason why is at the beginning of the month is the best time for us to plan out our month and what goals we have for the month. I like to work in the smaller time frame to start because we got to gain some ground. And when we get our monthly goals in order, then we can build that muscle to get our quarterly, hi Sarah, so good to see you, and our longer term goals in place. But we got to start somewhere, right? So we start our masterclass with the idea of what habits do we need to change? And it takes 21 days to build a habit. So after the first week of our masterclass, we have 3 weeks of working on our habits towards the goal. Then we check in before the end of the month and we say, hey, it's working or it's not working, and we need some tweaking, which is a great time for some hot seats. And then we evaluate at the end of the month, how did our goals from the prior month go? This is the cycle that I would like us to get into in our community. So I'm going to be posting next month, you'll see it as we start into May, what your goals are for the month of May. So in this last week of April, as you wrap up all the things that you are needing to do, add to the list things, start thinking about the goals you're going to have for May, and then we'll be talking about them in that masterclass. So I'm so looking forward to having this time with you guys next week. Have a great last week of the month. And for those of you that are popping hashtag hot seat into the comments, I will be getting in touch with you soon. Okay. Have a great day. Sign up for the masterclass once I post the event. And hey, go get your week. Take care.